Alright everybody, welcome to Urban Wax Jockey. This is the first episode. So, what we're going to do is we're going to give a basic idea of all the stuff that we're going to need in order to make our candles. We're going to talk about some different kinds of waxes. In future videos, I'll show you what waxes apply to what candles and the reasons why they apply, like soy wax applies to soft candles and takes scent really well. I can't think of the name of this right now, but this is a gigantic block of paraffin wax. Paraffin wax is really good for stand-up candles and really candles you need to be strong. They're going to stand up high, but it doesn't take scent very well. So it's just a colorful kind of candle that you make with it. And I was talking a little bit about soy wax. Here's the soy wax stuff that I was talking about here. Soy wax is really good. It makes a softer candle, but it also takes the scent better when you add the scent to it. There's another type of wax here. It's called palm wax. Palm wax is kind of a mix of the two. It comes straight from the palm tree, but then they add a little bit of paraffin to it to make it a little bit more sturdy because it's super soft. It takes the scent really well as well. And like I said, as we get going and we get more videos out, I'll make up some videos that show exactly how to apply palm wax or how to apply soy wax, how to apply paraffin. There's a lot of granulated wax as well they can use for your candles, which is basically recovered wax, and it has a whole different melting point, all different kinds of stuff to go along with it when you're trying to add scents to it and that kind of stuff. That kind of covers all the waxes. Candle making can be real simple. Candle making can be very complex, depending on how you decide to do it. When I started out doing it, my wife got me into it, and I was doing handmade flowers, handmade roses, stuff like that. And then we got into doing candles together, and we got into doing other stuff. I kind of enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I've acquired a lot of stuff for candle making. Some of the things you are going to need. This is a small measuring cup. You're going to need a measuring cup because you're going to measure out the amount of wax that you're using. Depending on how big you're going to pour, the size of your mold, which a mold can be as small as this. And it can be a little bit bigger like this for stand-up candles. You can make little teacup lights like this. There's all kinds of different things you can do with candles. I just ordered a whole bunch of candles, candle molds for later videos and stuff like that that we're going to use to make some molds, make some centerpieces that you can use for candles. Do centerpieces for your table and stuff like that, or for like your coffee table in the living room, things of that nature. Another thing that you're going to need is an old set of measuring spoons. It's the fastest way to throw everything into your, I don't know if you can read it or not, but they all say third cup, quarter cup, half cup, full cup. It's a really fast way to throw all your stuff into your measuring cup and then throw it into your pot. For melting your wax and all the other stuff that you're going to need, I recommend these pots. They come in a real simple kit. You can get it from Amazon. I think they're like $6-8, something like that. They're not too much. It looks like an old coffee pot, but it works in a double boiler system. So I have a burner, an old electric burner that I put out here. I have a pan that I put my water in. I have a double boiler set that I put in there, and then I put my pot inside of the double boiler itself. And the reason for this is because you don't want direct heat on the pot, because it'll scorch your wax, and then your wax comes out all funky and doesn't set up like it's supposed to. That's another video that we'll get into as we go as well. All of your temperatures and different things that you can do with your wax at different melting points. One of the biggest things that I found that was pretty awesome to use is glue dots. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them. These are glue dots. Hopefully you can see them okay. Glue dots are awesome. What you do with the glue dots, say you're making a teacup light out of this thing right here. You take the glue dot off of here, and it's just a little dot of glue. I don't know if you can see the little dot of glue right there. There's a little dot of glue right there. You peel that little dot of glue off, you stick it in the bottom, and then you take your wick, which this wick is not the right wick for this, but we're just showing the example. Take your wick, stick it on the glue dot, it sticks it to the bottom. You can put your centerpiece on there, and centering piece, which is what these are, and I'll get to those later. And then you don't have to worry about your wick coming out or moving while you're pouring your wax in. These glue dots are pretty handy. The really cool thing about this is you can do this fairly cheap if you choose to do so. The wax is kind of expensive, but as far as molds go and making teacup lights and stuff like that, remember the old swishing cups that you used to have? You put a little bit of mouthwash in there, you swish your mouth out, and you throw it away in the trash can? Those actually make a really awesome teacup light. I have 10 or 15 of those that I use. The other one is, if you want to do something a little bit bigger, a little Dixie cup works really good. You can use it one of two ways. Dixie cups are made of wax. When you pour the wax in there, the wax in the cup acts as its own releasing agent, so you can either pull it right out, or when you're getting ready to get your cup out, you just tear the Dixie cup off of the wax candle and pull your candle out. That works really well too. And you can still use the glue dots in these, and it'll stick your wick in the middle. Thermometers. Thermometers are huge. I have 3 different thermometers that I use. Thermometers are really important because when you're using the thermometer, I got to figure out which way I'm going here. When you're using the thermometer, that's what tells you the heat of your wax. Now, scorching wax is really easy to do. You don't want to scorch your wax because it makes your wax act all funny. It can also, if you scorch your wax, it can atomize and release any scents that you put in there, so your candle will have no scent if you get your wax too hot. It lets it go. All of your scent that you just spent $13 for a bottle for just went in the air and did nothing for your candle. So thermometers are huge. I keep a couple of them around just because sometimes I have more than one pot going, because I have a second burner sitting over here with another pot, so I can put a candle in each one. I can be watching them. If I want to do multicolor candles or stuff like that, then I can heat up wax in both pots and pour both pots. These are really huge. These are what they call wick stationers or wick holders. So what happens is you take the wick holder, you take a mold or your Dixie cup or whatever it may be, you take a wick, you drop it inside your mold, you put this up through the center hole. Now the ones that I have are made so that you can make up to 3 wicks in a candle. But I mean, in order for it to have 3 wicks in a candle, you have to have a fairly large size candle. It has to be pretty big. Most of the candles I do have 1 wick, sometimes 2. So what you do with this is, once you put it in there and you get it centered where you want it, there's a little, I don't know if you can see it or not, I'll show you on the other one here. There's a little notch to the side here. The wick sticks in that little notch, and that's what holds it in place. So you hold your candle wick, you slide it into the little notch, you drop your wick down inside there, and your candle wick will be centered. Then you can pour without having to worry about your candle wick floating away. This is the same thing, just a different version. This is made for, you can do up to 2 candle wicks with it. Stick it through the center here, and it goes right on top. Your candle wick comes out, you center it like you want it, you can pour your wax in, let your mold set, and then once it's set, you just slide this off the top, everything's good to go, you pull your candle out. Back when I very first started this, and I didn't know a whole lot about it or where to get stuff, I started making my own stuff. This is literally wood skewers from the dollar store. What I did with the wood skewers is I took them and I cut them in small pieces. And then I duct tape, or not duct tape, but I black taped the ends of them. And I spread them out a little bit. Spread them out a little bit, pull the wick up, center it where I want it, and there you go. You don't have to spend no money. Your wick is centered in your mold and you're good to go. So if you're just getting started and you can't afford to buy all the other stuff, there's no reason why you can't get candles if you can get wax. With wax, depending on the type of wax you buy, can be somewhat expensive or not too expensive. You can get about 10 pounds of soy wax for, I think it's 13 bucks, which is not too bad. Now, if you're going to do a lot of big stand-up candles, and you're going to be working with the paraffin comes in great big blocks. Some of it comes up to 20, 25 pounds. You need what they call a wax cutter. So sometimes you might just shave the wax off. Sometimes you might actually cut a chunk off, measure it out, see if it's as much as you need, and then drop that whole chunk in there, let it melt, and you'll be good to go. But handy tool to have, pretty cheap. I think it was $6 for the wax cutter. Pretty simple to use. Now, for everybody who likes coloring their candles and doing different things, there's several different options you have for coloring your candles. This is one of the options you have. Me personally, I don't use this, but I got it because I wanted to try it out and test it, see how it worked. It has an oil that goes in it, and then it also has the color that goes in it. And sometimes when you put that oil in there, it causes bubbles in your wax. And so I don't really like it, I don't really use it. My favorite choice, and you're all going to laugh at this, but it works really, really well, is a simple piece of crayon. Simple piece of crayon works amazing. Now you can look inside, and as your wax is melting, and you take a piece of crayon, so you want it to be a lighter blue or a darker blue, depending on what piece of crayon you pick out. You peel the paper back, you snap a small piece off, drop it in there, stir it around a little bit, look at the color. If it's the color you want, great. If you want it to be a little darker, great. The only bad thing about this is once it's dark, or once it's darker, you can't go back the other direction. You can't go lighter. You could add some wax, but then you're going to overpour and you're going to waste a lot of wax. So that's why I suggest small pieces. Watch your color as you're going, and get it where you need to be. But that's a really good way to color your wax. And like I said, there's going to be more future videos on all this stuff. How to do it, you know, how to kind of pick it out, looking at it, checking it out as it goes. These are teacup lights that you can do. This is a really cool setup. A lot of people, especially survivalists, have these, and they're called floating candles. I love them. They're awesome. I don't know if you can read it very well or not. Looks like there's a lot of light on it. It's called floating candles. So any glass in the house, you can take this piece of plastic that's on the top right here. You cut this piece of plastic out. You take a wick, you poke a hole in it, you put the wick through there. Fill the glass about 3/4 of the way with water, about 1/4 of the way with vegetable oil, and you make a candle. It's really, really cool candle. Now the really awesome thing about it is the water, before you put the vegetable oil in there, you can actually take food coloring and put food coloring in there, and you can change the color of the water for the vegetable oil over the top of the water, and when you light the candle and it starts burning, it'll glow that color. So if you made it blue like a Pepsi can, it would show out. It shows out about 2 foot blue, the same color as a Pepsi can, and it's really, really awesome. You can have a lot of fun with them, and I'll do a video on this too as well. Getting close to running out of time, so I got to kind of hurry. These are some of the wicks that you can make. This is the base. This is wick string here. There's different kinds of wick string. Some have metal in them, some are just cotton. Depending on the application that you're doing, you want a slower burn or you want a faster burn. The wicks are actually pretty simple to put together. You pull the wick through the base there, take a pair of pliers, you crimp it at the bottom, and you make your own wick, whatever length you need. These are some handy pieces to have. When my wife got me into this, we were doing, I was doing handmade roses and handmade flowers and stuff like that. I have some stuff that I put up on my Discord. When you guys get a chance, you can go check it out on Discord of some of the handmade flowers and stuff that I was making. You can take the flower, you can put it up on top of here so that you can work on it up here, or you can take a toothpick and you stick it in, I guess they call this fake ground or whatever. It's for plastic plants or soap plants. They stick them in here and make arrangements in them. But what works really good is take a toothpick, stick it in there, stick your flower on a toothpick, and it holds it right here, so that you can work on your flower or whatever you're doing. So these are some of the teacup lights that I've made here recently. They're really not, and they smell amazing. They smell really good. One of the things I really like about it, and these are different. These are the teacup lights that are made out of these. And then you can also do the Sensi squares, make your own scented wax and have your own Scentsy squares as well. And then you drop it in your Scentsy pot and put it in there, and it'll scent up the whole room. Sometimes you got to be careful, because if you overdo the scent in the wax, it'll overpower the room as well. Here's some of the Scentsy ones that I did. Scented in Ocean Breeze. And these are some of the bigger teacup molds that I did. But for right now, that was just a basic breakdown of some of the stuff that I use for my candle making. I still have a bunch of stuff that's missing in the trip back from Saudi Arabia. A lot of my stuff didn't make it here. A lot of my molds didn't make it here, so I had to order new molds and mold release. I got plastic molds this time, because the plastic molds, you can use olive oil or vegetable oil to release the candles when they come out. It's just a real thin coat, and they pop right out. Excuse me. And we got a bunch of different spherical ones. We got a bunch of different cone ones. We got some triangle ones. We got all kinds of neat stuff that we're going to be doing here in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you really did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. If you're on the Twitch side, if you enjoyed the video, please follow and subscribe if you enjoyed it. If you're on the YouTube side of the video, please like and subscribe, and there's going to be links and stuff to follow through the other stuff that I'm doing. We're also going to be doing videos on, I have a video up for metal detecting already. We have this one doing the candle making. We're going to be one doing prospecting, where I go around Colorado, get dirt, bring it back here. We run through the sluice block here at the house so that the wife can help. And we got a bunch of other stuff that we're going to do. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, the YouTube, the Twitch, with Twitter. I'm at Twitter, Obones. I think it's Obones966. I'll have to make sure. I'll put it in the comments. Hope you guys have a great night. Thanks so much. Have a great night.